Today we are going to a square that has witnessed executions. And just a short drive away, Riyadh is building a skyline that looks like it belongs in 2050. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to Intrigued Muslim. Today we are starting with King Abdullah Financial District in Riyadh or KAFD before heading over to Dhira Square, infamously known as the Chop Chop Square. Two completely different sides of Riyadh, one rooted in its past and the other racing towards its future. Let's go!
Sometimes the most beautiful moments of a journey aren't found at the famous landmarks. They're found in ordinary places doing something which Muslims have done for centuries. Today I'm in Riyadh, heading to a local mosque for a Jumu'ah. No itinerary, no sightseeing, just call to prayer, the khutbah, and thousands of Muslims pausing their lives to turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And maybe that's what traveling as a Muslim is so special. Personally, I've found one of the best ways to learn about the local culture is to visit the local mosques. And Alhamdulillah, Jummah is done. Now it's time to head to the famous KFD.
Okay, this is Riyadh's future. And honestly, look at this skyline. Because KAFD isn't just a bunch of futuristic buildings thrown together. This is basically a city within the city. KAFD covers around 1.6 million square meters and has 95 buildings, bringing together offices, homes, hotels, restaurants, retail, and entertainment, you name it, all designed around a walkable, connected district. KAFD has the world's largest continuous pedestrian skywalk network. I really have a tough time wrapping my head around that. Standing in a city built for hustle, ambition, and growth got us thinking, what if success isn't about doing more, but living better? If the 9 to 5 has you exhausted, our practical Muslim reset framework is just for you. Work, worship, and life without the burnout. The links are in the description and do not miss them. Okay, enough staring at the skyline. Let's get moving. KFD is huge and there's way more here than just pretty skyscrapers. So today's mission? Walk, explore, eat, and try not to keep looking up every 5 seconds. So we've got so many restaurants, especially this one which has a very interesting name in my opinion, El Camino. And we have to recharge ourselves, of course, and we are back out exploring KFT, but we have barely scratched the surface. KFT isn't just about these crazy skyscrapers. This is Saudi Arabia betting big on the future of Riyadh. The plan is to turn the capital into a global business, financial, and innovation hub, attracting international companies, creating jobs, and diversifying the economy beyond oil as part of their Vision 2030. And you can actually see that happening right here. KAFD already has more than 140 commercial tenants and 20 regional headquarters. So we are talking big names like Goldman Sachs, Pepsi, Pfizer, Deloitte, Bain, Huawei, Visa, Globant, OpenText, across finance, consulting, healthcare, technology, AI, consumer businesses, and the ambition does not stop here. Riyadh is expanding its transport, business districts, tourism, and infrastructure to accommodate a rapidly growing population. This is something I did not expect to find in the middle of Riyadh's futuristic business district. It's a mosque that looks like it belongs in a sci fi movie. We are heading into the KAFD mosque, and honestly, just look at this architecture, mashallah. Glass, curves, dramatic lines, and yet, right in the middle of all of these skyscrapers, it's still a place to pause, pray, and breathe. We've officially made it to the mall, and after all that walking around KFD, I think we have reached the most important part of the day: food. But first, look around. This whole place continues that very KFD vibe. There are shops, cafes, and restaurants, but speaking of eating, we have made our way to the Cheesecake Factory. So, yes, we are about to get loaded with sugar, carbs, and probably enough calories to undo every step we just took. But life is all about balance, right? We had the skyscrapers, we had the history, we had our salah, and now we have cheesecake. Because priorities. After the futuristic day we have had, now it's time to travel back in history. Drop your guesses in the comments of where we're headed next. And you're absolutely right. We have arrived at Al-Masmak Palace, and it is a museum. And it has a very rich history. It was built in 1865 during the reign of Imam Abdullah bin Faisal bin Turki Al Saud, and it was originally part of a large palace complex and was designed as a defensive fortress. The name Al Masmak refers to something strong, thick, and fortified. So it's a pretty fitting name considering its massive mud brick walls. Now here's the crazy history. On 15th of January 1902, Abdulaziz bin Abdul Rahman Al Saud and his men launched their famous raid to recapture Riyadh. And this wasn't some huge cinematic army. According to Saudi historical sources, Abdulaziz entered Riyadh with a relatively small group of followers, and the assault on Al Masmak became the decisive moment in reclaiming the city. So, what happened after the conquest? After Riyadh was recaptured, Al Masmak was used for about 2 years as a storage facility for weapons and ammunition, and it was eventually restored and transformed into a museum. And now the museum opened in 1995 and tells the story of the recapture of Riyadh and the subsequent unification of Saudi Arabia through all of these photographs, maps, weapons, and the audiovisual displays. So the fort isn't just four walls. You can actually explore all of the traditional weapons and the historical photographs and maps and the displays about the 1902 conquest. Like over here, you can see the traditional outerwear worn by the soldiers, and honestly, it's so different from what you see these days. And then look at these walls. They're all made from mud, straw, and stone, and they are still standing. I mean, obviously, parts of the fort have been restored and rebuilt over the years. MashaAllah, look at this wall with the famous celebrities. Onto a place where people once gathered to watch executions. And today, we are standing in the middle of one of Riyadh's busiest public space. This is Dhira Square, also known as Chop Chop Square. The name comes from its dark history as a place where public punishments were carried out. It's a shocking part of Riyadh's past, but it also shows how dramatically the city has changed. Well, this wasn't always an execution ground. For generations, this was a major marketplace where people bought and sold camels, horses, and weapons. It was also a place for celebrations and traditional Arda performances. And now look around today. Right here, you've got the Al-Masmak Fort where we just went. There's Turki bin Abdullah Mosque and Al-Hukm Palace, all sitting within this historic heart of Riyadh. So there's something quite surreal about standing here. A place with such a dark reputation has become part of everyday rhythm of modern Riyadh. Same ground but completely different city. And that's a wrap. Like our video, subscribe, and tell us where we are going next. Stay curious, keep exploring. Assalamu alaikum.